today is a true Hollywood star, and he's also a Star Wars legend. Besides his very long list of impressive credits, he's also known as the smoothest character in the Star Wars galaxy. Please take a look at the screens.
Lando Calrissian. He's a card player, gambler, scoundrel. You'd like him.
Hello, what have we here?
This deal is getting worse all the time.
Just a little air!
General Calrissian has volunteered to lead the fighter attack.
We're on our way.
Everyone on your feet for the smoothest man in the galaxy, Billy D. Williams! Welcome, Billy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You brought your fan club along, Billy. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
So, I mean, as we can tell from that warm reception, the audience have such a love for you. Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's always nice to be appreciated. It's always nice to be patted on the head and told how wonderful you are.
I mean, they all love the character of Lando. What do you think is so endearing about that character? Why do people enjoy him?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the actor who plays the character. I think there's a kind of an inherent kind of personality that goes into whatever it is that you're trying to express as a character. Of course, Lando is a wonderful character to play. You know, he's charming. He's roguish. I mean, at least those two combinations of really make a fairly good character, I think.
Absolutely.
And besides being good looking. I used to be good looking once upon a time.
Did you have to spend a lot of time in makeup? So Billy, what did you know about Star Wars before you became involved with Empire Strikes Back?
Well, I think I saw the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah, and but the whole idea of working with George Lucas was what was appealing to me, because I had prior to the one movie he did with the kids, all the kids, American Graffiti.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw he did a movie called THX 1138, yeah. And I was really thoroughly impressed with that movie. And not since there was a wonderful movie going way back to the 30s called the Things to Come, I think. It was a science fiction movie. Not since then have I really been so really impressed. And since then, of course, the whole Star Wars experience.
So George Lucas impressed you, and you thought, well, when you heard about this movie, you thought, well, I'm a fan of this guy's work.
Yeah, you know, at that time there were all of these young filmmakers, like George and Spielberg and Coppola and Scorsese, and they were bringing a whole new face to the world of cinema. And I thought, and of course, George was really at the helm. I mean, he created ILM. You know, he created all of these situations where people have borrowed a lot of his ideas to make movies. So I just felt really, really very, very fortunate to be able to. And of course, you know, when you're an actor, as you well know, you're always looking for the best situation.
Yeah.
You know, to express yourself as an artist. And I mean, to me, like, you're a great leading man, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good leading man.
Wow, did you hear that?
You have a really wonderful quality on film.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But you know, you're always looking for that experience, and you're always looking to work with some of the most extraordinary and innovative people in your industry. No matter what you're doing, and certainly in film. So anyway.
And when did you realize that Lando was such an important character within the saga? I mean, he came in late, but became quite important, didn't he?
Well, when I got the character, when they offered me the role, first of all, the cape really did it for me.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we need to talk about the cape. Was that your idea? Was it
No, it wasn't my idea. It was their idea.
Look at you swooshing that cape there in that photograph.
Yeah, well,
It's quite a skill.
the cape, it was something swashbuckling about the whole cape. It reminded me of all of those old movies I used to see when I was a kid with Errol Flynn and all those characters, But also the name Calrissian.
Ah.
Calrissian, I-A-N, that's Armenian. And I thought to myself, well, there's at least two components that would really lead me into doing something really different and something interesting with the character. I wanted to make the character bigger than life. I wanted to take it away from the usual stereotypical cliche ideas about what a little brown-skinned boy like me should do on a screen. So I wanted to make it really something special and unique. So that's what I think.
Well, you certainly did that. You really did. You made it your own.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, do you remember a conversation with George, perhaps at some point, where he explained about the character to you? Did he say anything?
Well, we talked about a lot of things, and he's an extraordinary. He has extraordinary vision and ideas. It's a kind of brilliance. Sometimes I wonder if people really realize the kind of brilliance they have. But certainly working with Kirshner in Empire Strikes Back was really a wonderful experience.
Why was that such a highlight for you, working with that director?
Well, Kirshner, I've known about his filmmaking, knowing about him as a filmmaker for decades. Especially because I grew up in New York City, and there were a lot of the great television shows at that time, and he was one of the creators of, I think it was Naked City, I believe it was, yeah. And so I knew a lot about Kirshner and what he was doing, and he was really an extraordinary human being.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a great directing style. As a director, how would he work with his actors?
Well, he's a good actor's director. He really knows the actor, and he likes the actor, and that's important.
Yeah,
I think Yeah,
because not all directors do they?
No, that's that's true.
I mean, we can see some footage running here of you and Kirsch on set.
Yeah. He was wonderful. I really miss him.
No, absolutely. Brilliant. Look at that. There's Jeremy Bulloch there as well, as an Imperial officer.
Right.
You wearing that cape. Fantastic. It's interesting you say that you took two things. You took the kind of the cape was one of those things that helped inform the character, really, for you. Because that's what you do as an actor, don't you? You take a couple of things to help you kind of cling on to what you've got as a character.
Yeah, I grew up in New York City, where in those years, there was the Stanislavski method.
Carrie was in that video, so we can go to Carrie next.
Everything was internalized. But I did something that Olivier, I think this is how he used to work. He used to work from the outside in. And I knew Olivier, by the way. I worked with his wife. I worked with Joan Plowright.
Wow.
And we did a play on Broadway with Angela Lansbury. We did a play on Broadway called A Taste of Honey, Sheila Delaney's play. But I remember talking to Olivier, and that was a lot of fun. he was a really fun person.
Wow.
But I remember reading an article where he talked about this whole idea of taking from the outside and then building his character, you know. So in a sense, I kind of did the same thing.
Absolutely. Now, in that piece of video, we noticed there was, of course, Carrie Fisher. Do you have any stories you can share about Carrie?
Well, the only thing I can, you know, Carrie, to me, I loved Carrie. She was just a wonderful young person and so bright, a blithe spirit, as I always said about her, but extraordinarily bright.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, after all these years, moving on from Star Wars, of course, you're still involved because you often provide the voice of Lando in projects such as Robot Chicken, in the Lego Star Wars projects, and of course, Star Wars Rebels, which we all love. I'm sure there's Rebels fans here. Yeah. I mean, how did it feel coming back to the character and providing voice in this way?
Well, I love doing all of that kind of stuff. I get a kick out of it, you know, so it's just a plus for me.
Fabulous.
But, you know, I also did, this has nothing to do with Star Wars, but, you know, I finally, you know, I did Harvey Dent in the first Batman. And ironically, I ended up doing Two-Face. You know, I wanted to do Two-Face when I did Harvey Dent, but ironically, I ended up doing it for the Lego movie.
Ah, brilliant. Brilliant.
So you can, if you haven't seen it, go see it. But anyway, back to Star Wars.
Well, since you're here with us now, I would like to see if you're as smooth in animation form as you are in real life. Let's take a look at the clip.
Oh, you're quite the pilot. That's the smoothest takeoff I've had in years.
And you're quite the smooth-talking smuggler.
Smuggler, such a small word. I'm more of a galactic entrepreneur. That means business person.
I know what it means.
I wonder, my new friend, if you'd be kind enough to give me a tour of this fine ship. Serene, I understand this is your work. Reminds me of Janier's protest paintings on Bith.
Janier of Bith is a major influence.
Well, your work is even more stunning in its simplicity.
Hey, I told you your stuff was good months ago.
Yeah, but you didn't know why.
Let's talk about him being
Really?
an artist.
That's hardly fair. He's just a child with no experience of the galaxy.
I don't suppose you'd like to see my more impressionistic pieces.
I happen to be an impressionistic connoisseur. That means...
I know what it means. Hey, what does that mean?
A lot less than he thinks.
I noticed you didn't have an animated cape on, though, did you there? No cape.
No cape on this one.
Now, I understand, Billy, that you're an artist as well. Now, is this something that you do as a hobby to relax, or is it a commercial venture?
No, actually, I've been painting all of my life. I have the Smithsonian owns one of my paintings. The Kansas City Jazz Museum has one, the Schoenberg in New York. When I was growing up in New York, I went to a school called Music and Art High School. And from Music and Art High School, I went to I got a scholarship to the National Academy of Design for the Fine Arts, where I spent 2 years under scholarship painting. And I was nominated for a Guggenheim and won a Hallgarden. I was about 18, 19 years old at the time.
Fabulous. Now, we're seeing some of the art on screen here, and I'm kind of looking at it and kind of trying to figure out what your influences might be when you paint these,
Well, this certainly,
things.
this is like jazz influence. I grew up around jazz most of my life. And this is a kind of a take on Thelonious Monk.
I see. And have you ever painted anything related to Star Wars at all?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. There's a piece. I don't know if it's. I don't know if we brought some. I have some lithos of a whole Star Wars experience.
And what medium are you painting in when you do those Star Wars paintings?
Well, with that particular one, it was mixed media.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And it's something you find quite relaxing to do?
You know, it's funny. I don't find painting relaxing.
Oh.
I know people think it's therapeutic. Maybe it is. But you know, when you're trying to reach for some particular point of view, and you go through these machinations where you're really trying to give a real three-dimensional feeling to what it is that you have in your head on a flat piece of canvas or paper, and that can be pretty agonizing, I think. You know.
I see.
But it's a wonderful creative process.
Brilliant. Now, jumping ahead now, of course, in production at the moment is the Han Solo movie, which features a younger version of Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
And I believe you met with the actor Donald Glover, who's playing Lando.
Yeah.
Tell us about your meeting with Donald.
Well, he's a wonderful young man, talented young man. And he's a very good musician, by the way.
Is he?
If you don't know anything about his music, he's really very good. But a lovely person, but he's got a tough way to go.
What sort of advice did you pass on to him?
I don't know. I forget what I said to him. I said, no, just go for it and see where you can take it.
Okay. Is he cool enough to play Lando?
Is he as cool as I am?
Nobody is, Billy Dean. Nobody is. Now, Star Wars, of course, pioneered the art of merchandising.
He's going to be wonderful.
He's going to be great, isn't he? He's going to be great. Yeah. You can clap if you want. Yeah, one person. Now, of course, Star Wars, it pioneered that idea of creating toys, of merchandising. Are you familiar with toys of your character? Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite?
A favorite toy, yes. A likeness of you in plastic.
Well, that's me.
Me? Well, I
Oh,
tell you
well.
what. I've got a few choice items to show you now. So yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so, Billy D, you have been immortalized in plastic in a few different ways. I've got 4 things to show you. First of all, we have this, which is the classic action figure, complete with vinyl cape, which is unusual because they always get lost. This one still has it. But what do you think of that?
It's okay.
It's okay? Could they have done better anywhere, or is it a good...
No, it's fine.
It's good, you like that one, okay. So that was the original figure, and later on, there was a bit of a transformation to this fella. Now, he's kind of buffed up now.
Yeah.
Is that one better?
I think that looks more like me. At least what I used to look like.
Okay, let's have a look at our third item now. Some socks. What do you think of that? Socks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Does that make you feel good about your acting career?
Absolutely.
You've become socks.
Especially when you get a piece of the action, it's even better.
And finally, we've got this item here. The Lando Calrissian disguise kit.
I love this. This is
Which
wonderful.
is brilliant. I mean, it's amazing. I think I did have one, but I seem to have lost it. But yes, it consists of a moustache.
I know.
Yeah.
You take it off and
when you put it on, it's uncanny. I was wearing it earlier, and people kept calling me
you automatically become Lando Calrissian.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that was immortalized in plastic. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, well, we've had a lovely chat, Billy D. I've been talking rather a lot. Now I'm going to hand over the reins to our audience, who are going to ask you some questions. I believe Mark and Elliot are out in the house with microphones.
Hey, Warwick, it'll be
there.
me and Kristen on the
Okay.
microphones.
You and Kristen. Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to go to you, Mark, first.
Yes. I have Mark over here. Mark has a question for Billy D.
How's it going, Billy?
Where
it's
are
nice
you?
to talk to him.
He's over here. Billy.
He's up there, on the right there.
Oh, okay.
Or Billy, you can look up at the screen there and you can see him
Okay,
as well,
all right,
close
okay.
up.
I'll put my shades on.
It's
so
not
Billy's
pleasant,
got
though.
his on.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
All right. So what did you have more fun filming? Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi?
Well, Empire really, I think that Empire was really, I loved Empire. Well, that's when I was introduced. So, no, I liked Empire. I thought that was one of the best of the whole group.
You know, I've got a question. Do you remember that point in Empire when you first introduced our heroes to Darth Vader and the doors shut? What happened at that dinner party? You know, what was the dinner conversation like?
Well, we had a good DJ, and then we started. Got it on.
Okay, let's have our
Got it
next.
on, baby.
Let's have our next question from the audience.
I have Jordan over here.
Oh, well, you're over there. You're somewhere. We'll look at the screens. I can't find you. Oh, you're over there.
We have Jordan with a question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you could play a character in the franchise other than Lando, who would you play?
No. No. There's no need.
There's no need. I love that answer. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, next question.
I have Nancy from Orlando.
Hello, Nancy.
Right over here.
Here. Hello. I wanted to ask, how was your experience on Dancing with the Stars, and if you regret doing it? I mean, you were good. I watched you.
Well, I got talked into it, and I decided to do it, but I got as far as doing two. I was on my way to doing a third dance, but my back gave out on me, so I had to give it up. But I really had a good time, and Emma Slater, she's great. She's great. She's a real taskmaster, that girl, you know. But it was great exercise.
Really?
Yeah. But, you know, it's interesting because it's not just, you know, physical. It's also, you have to think about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
No, it is. It's hard, especially, I mean, being an actor as well and having to dance sometimes. We're not wired up in the same way as a dancer is, are
Right.
we? You know, we can say lines, but we can't do things at the same time.
Well, they're thinking numbers, you know.
Yeah.
But
you've got good natural rhythm anyway, haven't you? Probably because you're cool and smooth.
well, I love dancing. I mean, I wish I could have been a lot better, actually.
Mm.
You know, I was lucky to well, I had a lot of fans who kept me on the show.
Oh, that's
But,
nice.
So
Yeah.
I have to thank a lot
Two
of
more
the
questions. Two
the
more
fans.
questions, please.
Okay, let's go to another question.
Okay, we have one back here. We have Jackie.
Over there. Hello.
I'm from Ocala, Florida. My question is, if you could do Broadway again, what show or role would you like to do?
If I had to do
Broadway again.
Broadway. I don't know. I've done the shows I've done. Well, The Taste of Honey, and I did Martin Luther King. I did quite a few shows on Broadway. I don't know.
Is there anything you haven't done that you would like to do on Broadway?
Well, I'm not really interested in working that hard anymore.
Okay.
You know, that's hard work.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, and now we're going to have to go to our final question from the audience. Make this a cracker. Who have we got?
Okay, right next to you, Warwick.
Oh,
right
hello.
Here. Yeah. I'm gonna make it. What is your question, Ashton?
I was wondering when the next Star Wars movie is going to be, and are you going to be in it?
It's good, isn't it? It's a good question.
Well, I think they're in the process of making it now. The new one. Are you in the new one?
The new one?
Yeah.
What new one? Which one? What?
Star Wars.
Yep. No. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Next question.
I forget. Yeah, everything
Do you have
skipped.
Sorry, you carry on. What?
Anyway, no, I won't be in it. I won't be in the next one.
Not going to be in it. Not because he doesn't want to, just because he hasn't
Nobody
been.
asked.
Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Good question. So I'm afraid that's all we've got time for as far as questions go. But all that it remains me to do now is to, on behalf of our audience here, is to thank you, Billy D. Williams, for being here today and for your contribution to Star Wars. Billy D. Williams, everyone. There he is.
Thanks a lot. Bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Billy.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.